Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Joel Madden, and this is Artist Friendly. On this episode, I'm talking with Australian alt-pop sensation Maya. Her new EP, Analysis Paralysis, is out now. We'll be talking about that and a bunch of other things. Let's go.
I don't want no bad times. I don't want to have bad.
Maya?
Yeah.
I always say Maya.
I think a lot of people do.
Is that an American thing?
There.
Is it an American thing?
No, people in Australia say Maya as well.
Were you called Maya all the way? That's very, I feel like it's very Aussie to like change the way you say a word that reads.
I don't know why my parents did it to me. It's super annoying.
It's great, actually. I prefer Maya.
Really?
So welcome.
Thank you.
How's it going?
Thank you for having me. It's going well. I'm happy to be here.
Do you live in LA?
Not really. Just kind of in and out.
Okay.
Every now and then.
Do you live in Australia still?
Kind of.
Cool.
Yeah.
You live everywhere because you're touring
Yeah,
and stuff.
that's the vibe, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to be living out here, though.
You're going to move out here?
Yeah.
It's a great place to make music. If you're making music all the time and making stuff all the time, LA is a great place to like, and then to get around the world, it's a little harder from Australia.
Definitely.
As a touring artist.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Those
Australia is
costs.
great for a lot of things creatively, but when you're touring, like it looks like you're starting to kind of like just tour all the time.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
Whenever you get a tour, just go pick up your bags and go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is harder from Australia, especially like all my band is in Australia.
Oh, wow.
So like flying 4 people out from Australia
It's
to the other
expensive.
side of the world.
It's so expensive.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It's a lot. And I don't think people realize how expensive touring is.
Especially support stuff. People think that
You don't
the
get paid.
main act pays for everything, which
And
is
you don't
ridiculous.
get paid that much.
No.
Support you. That's the whole point of like, that's why a lot of artists need labels because it's tour support. It isn't even making records. It doesn't cost that much these days.
Yeah.
I mean, records can cost a lot. It depends, but touring is probably the most expensive aspect until you get a business that's turning over enough money to break even, which is, I don't think people realize.
No. You're
how
getting
little-
$500 a show and one flight is like $1,000 to get out.
Terrible.
Like,
That's tough.
yeah. But it's, I don't know, I'm glad that, you know, I have the tour support. There's so many great artists that just like can't do it. Because you can make a record on a budget. You can't tour on a budget, really.
You can be resourceful with making music for sure. You can, these days, I think music is essentially zero to no cost if you're really resourceful and creative. You have your friends, you have people like artists. We find our way around and we meet other artists and we all end up collaborating and then we figure it out. And if there's money, we split it. If there's not, we're all like, whatever, like get it out.
Yeah.
That's kind of, I feel like how real artists work. As you get bigger, it gets harder because things get more complicated because there's more and more people involved but if you're creative, you can start your career as an artist by just creating.
Yeah.
But then trying to go out in the world and tour, that's the most expensive part.
100%.
It's tough. I don't know how you guys do it.
It's definitely hard. How was it for you when you were touring?
It was the same.
Yeah.
This is expensive. When we started was 1996. We were in a minivan.
Yeah, classic.
Like a little Astro,
But
Chevy
how rock
Astro.
is that though? Like
And the
in a
door
mom
was
van?
the door was broken, so
Yeah.
we had to go in through the back
Oh my god.
or the front 2 doors.
Did you have to pull your gear in?
So the sliding
yourself
door was broken. You know how they used to have the sliding doors? The sliding door was broken. We had the 2 front doors and the back door. So we would load all the gear in because we had the bench seat in the back out and we had the plate stuff for the gear. This is when we first started touring. And then we would all go in through the front doors and there was one bench seat in the middle and 2 seats in the front and we'd always just cram
That's
in.
so funny.
And then we made that van because that was like a van we got for nothing.
Oh, you bought it?
Yeah. I mean, before
That's
we were
smart.
signed, we were just selling our little CDs out like at our shows. And then we got signed in 99. And out of that, we bought like a 13 passenger nice van.
It's smart to buy a van.
Yeah. And then we had a trailer. We bought it. And we put 500,000 miles on that.
Oh my god.
Touring, like we just drove around the US and just toured.
Jesus.
and would play any show. It was probably 99. We were touring in vans with Sum 41 before anyone knew who either one of us really were. And we were playing like bars and little clubs, probably like 200 cap, 300 cap. Some shows would be like sold out or almost sold out. Some shows there'd be like 150 people there, depending on the city. And we were in vans just touring around. Like that was it. We were just in vans. And then I think we moved to a bus by the end of the first record, which was 2001.
Yeah.
So, it was like 5 years in vans.
It's kind of fun though.
No iPhones.
Oh,
think about that.
Oh, true.
No maps.
Well, do you have like a map, like a physical map out? Like,
yeah, like
you're taking turns driving.
A road atlas. Yeah. I used to drive. Me and our other friend who was like our tour manager, sound. You know how you do. You're just like, you can do sound and tour manage.
And lights at the same time, surely.
Yeah. So I used to drive, but I was one of the main drivers. We just have a road atlas.
Would you just drive for like 12 hours and then be like, right, time to get on stage and sing?
Yeah, sometimes. Depends. Like,
oh my God.
If you had a flat tire or you had anything go wrong. The other thing is when we were touring with road atlases, you'd miss a turn and you'd be off course by like an hour or two, depending on like what part of the country you're in.
Probably wouldn't even know for a bit.
For a long time. And you'd be like, wait, where did I miss this? And it's like dark in the Midwest, driving overnight, So it was like a whole different experience touring back then, but it was still expensive.
Yeah.
Those shows on those little tours, and we did a bunch of those little tours, you weren't making much each show. And hotels weren't, you were literally just doing like Red Roof Inns and like these little motels for like $20 rooms and sharing, you'd get 4 rooms and you were budgeting every dollar, especially because we started from zero and you're just trying to stay at zero and not go into debt trying to like tour.
Yeah. And
like Warped Tour, all that. We did all that, but it was you were always just trying to break even on tour. And then we got this band MXPX took us out on tour. And that was like our first really big, extensive US tour where it was like sold out shows, 2,000-3,000 people. And I feel like that's where like our touring live kind of culture tipped. And then we started headlining our own shows after that.
Yeah.
Doing 1,500 to 2,000 people. And you have to tour and grow the live audience. You don't just get a live audience.
You also need the practice. You need to do small shows because you're just chucked on a massive show and you're like, well, got to learn how to play this part in
how
front
to fill
of everybody.
This stage.
Yeah.
And what if something goes wrong? If you haven't done 1,000 shows and something cuts out during your live show on a big stage,
it's going to be obvious.
You don't have the muscle memory to just like work through it.
Yeah.
And
100.
It's interesting. We were talking about that. We philosophize a lot about what we think artists need to succeed at every level. And I do think that you have to go through every level to succeed. When an artist gets thrown on the big stage and they haven't done 1,000 shows, it can fall apart and they can have a really bad moment that stays in everybody's memory as their first impression. Because, it's first impressions always, right? But you want your first impression in front of 25 people. There's room there.
And they're also like, it's endearing. It's your first show.
Exactly.
It's nice. Whereas like artists that blow up, like TikTok artists blowing up and then getting chucked on a stage, people like, they're not a real artist because they can't perform. But it's like, you have to acknowledge that they've never performed before.
But that first impression sticks sometimes.
It does.
And then that's the reputation.
I mean, I'm, guilty of doing it too.
How would you define your introduction to the world? Was it through social media? Has it been just, Australia has a much cooler, I think, taste. And I think it feels to me more organic, even in the pop world. It's just still feels more organic than like what I think is available and possible in the US. You can construct a pop artist and put him out there and make it go viral. You can't do that
in Oz.
You can't do that.
People can tell like straight away.
Much harder on their artists in Australia.
Yeah, definitely.
It's hard in Australia to make it.
It is. It's hard because you've gotta be cool, but you can't look like you're trying to be cool, and you can't get too big, but you can't stay cool. Small, and you can't move to America, but you can't stay. It's this really weird anomaly.
You're damned if you do. You're damned if you don't.
Exactly. You have all these big artists that like have to leave to actually get success, but then get shunned when they come back because they're like, well, you
have to stick through
us.
it.
Yeah.
And then somewhere on the other side of that, everyone's just like, oh yeah, you've been big forever. And you're like, no, you guys didn't talk to me for 10 years.
No, literally. That's like Kylie Minogue, Troye Sivan. Like all these people had to leave. But then you've got like Spacey Jane's like one of the biggest bands in Australia right now. But you say that name out of Oz and nobody like, you know, they're just starting.
I don't know Spacey Jane.
They're really cool. They're really cool. Very like Aussie. Yeah, it's
But
great.
I know Australia, so I
you understand it. Like you spend a lot of time there, right?
I love it for that. And I get just as frustrated as any Australian artist with some of the behaviors, but I also love it. So it's endearing at the same time. And I know I've been going to Australia for 23 years. And it's like home away from home in a lot of ways. But I think because I'm not Australian, I get away with a lot more.
That's true.
There.
Yeah, they're less
because I'm not Aussie. They are. And then in some ways, yeah, I love it to death. It's like my favorite place in the world.
I remember I thought you were Australian.
Yeah.
Raiders. Because it's rare that people become like big in Australian culture when they're not Aussie.
Like in an Aussie way.
Yeah, in an Aussie way. That's exactly it.
Like in the living room. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And I feel Australian a little. All my best friends are all Australian. It's crazy how many Australians are in my life. It's ridiculous. And Australians find each other all over the world.
Oh, yeah. You can like
anywhere.
Sense it's like a whale.
Yeah,
you can
like,
hear that from a mile away.
It's funny because if I'm traveling anywhere in the world, I'm always running into Australians. And it's great. There's like an Aussie way with the artists that I find, because I know so many Australian artists that are head and shoulders above. They just outclass other musicians, other songwriters. I mean, guitar players, drummers. In order to become a professional in Australia in the arts, you have to just be so good and not promote it.
Yeah.
And so it's different in America. We're self-promoting if we're bad. Like,
yeah,
I gotta be playing drums for 2 years and be promoting myself as like the best drummer in the world.
Yeah, fully.
Right. In Australia, Drum Prodigy has been playing since he was 2 years old. He's all right. Yeah, he's okay.
Yeah.
He's pretty good. Yeah, he's a good guy.
Yeah.
But so I know so many artists that in Australia and from Australia that like I feel like they don't get the accolades at home that they should because it's just not the way.
The second that you're the best, you're overrated.
Yeah.
And if you're coming up, you're not that good. So nobody wins. It's weird.
And yet it's kind of what makes me love it because there's just this way that like it just is how it is, and it builds character. There's a character to it that I like. Chase Atlantic, you know Chase Atlantic?
Yeah.
They're so Australian.
Yeah.
They live here because they have to because of tour, because they're always on the road. But they live in Australia too. It's kind of like you. Like I don't think they're ever not going to live in Australia, but they have to live here because there's no way they could tour and afford. You
can't.
Like, at this stage, they have a big touring operation and it's a lot of people, and like I don't know how they would do it if they were in Australia.
Yeah. There's also so many times that you can tour 5 states.
Yeah.
Like, I've only been touring for like 3 or 4 years, but like even then you're like, yeah, I've done the rounds quite a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Played them all.
Yeah.
When did you start?
I started writing when I was like 13.
Right.
Like in a studio that I found. And then I met my manager there like randomly. And then he was my singing teacher for like 3 years. And like I was slowly writing. And then he was sort of like, I want to manage you. I've been wanting to manage an artist for ages. And then, I don't know, it happened really slowly. And I don't think I realized that anything was happening just because I was like, yeah, I'm just doing my thing. And I think he did a good job at protecting me back then of just like, he didn't put any expectation. He wasn't like, you're going to do this, you're going to meet this label rep. He was just like, just write for a bit and then when it's right, it's right. And I didn't release anything until I was like 18, which I'm pretty grateful for.
That's good.
That I didn't do it too young. But yeah, it was just like the radio station, Triple J. It's like Australia's radio station.
Yeah.
The radio for the people, essentially.
Yeah.
And they always support up and coming artists.
Yeah, they always play cool shit too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They'll like really champion people that have like 1,000 streams, which I feel like America doesn't have a big force like that supports really small artists.
I think if there was one, it wouldn't be in radio. I mean, alternative press is a good example of a like a brand that like will just promote artists that they like.
Yeah.
The editor is super cool. She's like just picks up things. It's like music fans. They're just like, this is cool. It doesn't matter how many streams it has. There's not a lot of that outside of like web-based and media kind of like independent media type things, but radio is such a, even like I don't feel like terrestrial radio matters anymore, but
doesn't have as much of a push.
It matters in like a talking point.
Yeah.
Like this is doing really well at radio, but like what does that mean? Because kids are not listening to the radio. I don't think my kids know how to turn a radio on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Again, like in Australia, I think Triple J is kind of the longest standing cool radio brand that still supports artists and finds things and breaks things. And like, that's doesn't really exist in maybe anywhere in the world. I think probably a few others if we really tried to like find them, but Triple J it's kind of like this big brand that still champions cool shit.
Yeah. And it gets like people, you get an audience that you wouldn't necessarily have.
Yeah.
Like I know what the stereotypical like watered down like mayor listener looks like, but then occasionally I'll have like a big group of tradies in the crowd, which are like carpenters and you know, and I'll be like, why are there all these guys in high vis in the pit?
Yeah.
Like that's sick, but where have they come from? And I'm like, oh, it's like the work sites that are playing the radio, and then they'll show up at the festivals, and like that's a demographic that probably would not have found my music naturally outside of like that force. What
was the first like break for you into the, into like professional, this is starting to happen for me. I'm an artist now. I can just focus on this. You said you were 18. Was it the radio?
That was again like a really slow build. And like I did really small shows. Same thing. I did like 100 cap rooms, 200 cap rooms, slowly building, slowly with my band, and then like releasing more music and working on it. I got like signed. I still wasn't like, when I got signed, I wasn't like, oh, I made it. I was actually like, I think I cried that day because I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, this is actually more heavy than it is like fun in a way.
Yeah.
And
I
then,
get that.
yeah. But it was probably the Flume song, I think, where I was like, oh, this shit is getting real now.
Super cool.
Yeah. It was pretty crazy. Like, I just didn't think it was going to happen. And then just like,
why didn't you think it was going to happen?
Because, like, I'd met him a few times, but like they definitely said like, oh, we're like testing out vocalists and we're trying different people. Right. And, it's just immediately off the bat was like, okay, it's not.
Yeah, that kind of is how it is in the process. Like some stuff makes it and some stuff never makes it out.
Yeah.
You can put a vocal on something and it never sees the light of day because
exactly.
It's a bunch of people that have to kind of
approve,
agree and believe that this is the song or whatever.
I was like, oh, in 2 years I can play my version when this song's big and be like, I have a demo version of me on the track, like, and then just like chucked in the deep end. Like they were like, cool. Sang the song, do a few performances, and then they were like, you're doing Coachella. And I was like, oh my God, the biggest room I've played is like 1,000 people. I don't know if I can do this. And that's when it was more like the like professionalism became really real of like, okay, this is a fucking job now and you need to like pull it together and perform.
Yeah, you got to show up and perform.
Yeah.
And some people, they can't.
The pressure is insane.
Yeah.
Especially for like 2 shows over the span of like 2 weeks. That's like 6 months of prep for something that big. And I'm on for 2 minutes. I couldn't imagine what a a big band or artist, or like it was all of the things, the fucking movement coaches and the like,
that's funny,
etc. Like, you know, especially because like I tend to play more of band style music and like guitar. I don't move like a EDM vocalist.
Right.
So it was very much like I do need a bit of training, and this is like untreaded territory a little bit.
Yeah. What do I do?
Yeah.
What do I do up here when I'm just singing with this other group?
Yeah.
It's very smart to go, oh, okay, I haven't done this before. I want to prepare. I need to figure it out. And sometimes you'll bring in a coach of some kind and you realize it's like, you just needed to do that once to realize you didn't need
to do it. That's more often than not, I think.
I think so.
Yeah. Well, I mean, music is interesting because you can be kind of boxed in as a specific type of artist, and then suddenly you have this realization where you're like, wait, I can do whatever I want. I can do the band thing and then do I think Charlie XCX does it really well.
Yeah.
In a way that she could have 20 people on stage, or it could just be her. She can change that show so much to be like full band or just a DJ or there's dancers, or it's cool when you can be that like a chameleon in a way. But with your stuff, what made you decide to, because you had Good Charlotte, and then you did the duo thing,
the Madden Brothers.
Yeah,
that was just like that was fun. That was just like me and Benj wanting to make a record. We just made it. It was weird. And then it's funny too, because like that record doesn't exist anywhere right now.
What?
So we took it off of all the streaming platforms and stuff after the year. We put it out for a year, we toured, and then when we were done, we just took it off.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know why.
I remember that
it was great.
Done? We Are Done.
Yeah.
That song like plagued the radio in Australia.
It was
to
everywhere.
the point where you couldn't escape it.
Was ridiculous. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that record, but we're going to put it back out. I don't know when, but we're definitely going to put it back out. I don't know how or when. We always talk about it because it's going to be 10 years next year.
No way.
Yeah.
That does not feel like that long ago.
It's crazy, right?
That's crazy.
Yeah. And we after about a year after we did that, we did it for like a year. We toured everywhere, and then when we were done, no pun intended, we were like, okay, what should we do? And we were like, why don't we just take it? I don't know. It's weird.
Why did you want to take it down?
I don't know.
Were you like, this is
it was just something
a momentary thing? Or?
It was just something that we did that we wanted to do, and I don't know if we felt like, I feel like I'm only ever going to be in one band.
Yeah, I do get that.
Good Charlotte is the only band I'll ever be in.
That's what you want people to remember.
And if I'm not in Good Charlotte, I'm not going to be making music, and it's just how I feel.
Yeah.
That's that band raised me.
Yeah.
I was 15, 16 when we started. From a broken home, my parents were struggling to keep up with their own shit. We didn't have the kind of parental guidance or involvement or support that I think we needed. And I think we found it there with each other. And I think that means so much more to me than music. It means so much more to me than the records. Like that band means more. Those guys, we've been through so much together, but we raised each other. So like all my self-confidence, all my personal, I think, values were established with those guys. And
was it like you weren't making music just to make music? You were just making music to be with each other?
It was deeper. Yeah, it was a deep need. And so I think I can be like a husband and a father, not because it's in me as like I'm this good guy. I think I established that with my band. I think that the success of my life is because of those guys. So it's so much deeper than like the records.
Yeah.
Even though I know people like the records, and I love it when I meet people every day. I meet someone who's like talks to me about a Good Charlotte record or a song or something, and it's great, it's beautiful. But that, to me, that band, the symbol of that band, it's so much deeper. It's like burned into my like soul, as like it saved me from what I always shudder to think like I shudder to think like, who would I have been if I didn't meet those guys and didn't start this little band that no one cared about for so many years and no one watched for so many years. And it was just like the four of us in the beginning, Billy and Paul really were my best friends. And then Dino, who's been with us now for like 18 years or something. The five of us. But I really feel like the fabric of like who I am and like my values and the things that have, I think, sustained me my whole life are that my values, my work ethic, all that was those guys. So when I think of me and music and what's living in the world, I always kind of just want it to be Good Charlotte.
Yeah.
Because to me, it's deeper than like a song, a hit song, or how many streams something has, or how many records we've sold. None of that matters as much as like at this age, I look at it and just go, the legacy of that brand, of that band, of that like that symbol. For whatever reason, I'm super protective of it. I think because it just feels so deep to me. You know?
Yeah.
That makes sense?
Yeah, definitely.
It's weird.
No, it's good. I think that's where good music comes from, though. It's not necessarily like, what's this song going to be about? It's just like, let's jam in the garage for hours to avoid being anywhere else.
And do we believe in like this thing? And the songs, to me, they have to mean something to us. Like we all have to be like all the way in on what it feels like this record means or this song means. And so, yeah, so that record, we did it in a moment of like artistic, we wanted to create something. But when we were done doing it, I think we were like, you know what? That was great. But this is what when people look for your music, this is what I want them to find. Is these records, these Good Charlotte records.
Yeah.
Weird. I don't know.
It's understandable.
Decision we made.
Yeah.
So I don't know, I don't know if that could have been a Good Charlotte record or not. It probably could have been. I don't know. But the band wasn't involved in it, so it didn't feel like it was a Good Charlotte record. So, but they were really, really, they were really supportive. It was cool. How old are you now?
I'm 22.
22.
Yeah.
God, you've done a lot. You've done a lot by 22.
Thanks.
I mean, 22 is young. I think when we're 18, we think 22 is older than it is.
I know.
And
yeah.
when we're 22.
I kind of got here and I was like, I feel 15 still.
Yeah. And then when you're 22, you think 30 is older than it is.
See, I think I've had the clarity of being like, nah, 30 is still super young. I have a lot of friends that are 30 and I'm like, you feel younger than me. Like,
well, you've done a lot by 22. A lot of people at 22 are still trying to break in that first, like, how do I get in? How do I have that first moment, the Flume moment, the Triple J moment?
Yeah. I think I've just
the Five Sauce moment. How do I get that moment? You've had a bunch of moments, and here you are at 22 with a lot of experience that I think a lot of other 22-year-olds that are trying to break into doing this for a living are still trying to figure out, how does that happen? That's great.
It's hard being a solo artist, or I find it hard being a solo artist just because I think there's part of me that's always been like, I think I was meant to be in a band kind of feeling. And, you say that to people and they're always like, but you'd have to share everything and it's so much harder. And I get that, but like, I don't know, I never feel as good as I do when I'm like with my band. Like that is what it's about, that's what I feel is I'm like, this is what feels right for me.
Yeah.
So, it's more, I'm now at the point where I'm sort of experimenting with just like, I've only ever been in like sessions with myself and one producer when I'm writing, like since I was like 13 years old. And I'm more like, I really feel the urge to like write with my band. But then it's also like, I don't actually know how to do that.
Yeah, you have to try.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That feels scary to me because I'm like, what if this doesn't feel as good as I keep thinking that it will?
Well, I always say, you can always find that out and then decide. You can always go back.
Yeah.
But going forward is the most important part.
Yeah.
I think in life, period. Whether it's in your music, going forward and creating, and whether you use it or not. You got to try things to discover things and see if this is something that will work for me. And you might discover, like, you might have a breakthrough.
Yeah.
That's how we do. Like it's experimentation, putting things and seeing what the reaction is, right? Because there's going to be something. It's going to be different than, or you might find it doesn't work. I mean, you just have to try.
Yeah.
You can always go back.
Yeah, that's true.
Nothing to be afraid of.
Yeah.
But that's what we do. I think artists we're very heady, and which is not a bad thing. But like we'll overthink it and
Just get in your own way constantly.
Yeah, analysis paralysis.
Yeah, yeah, very much.
But so you have to be careful of that. I'm guilty of that. I can overanalyze, and then I had to learn at some point how to there was definitely a part of my career where I feel like I got stuck because I was overthinking everything. You had to go through that to get to the other side of it.
Yeah, that's true. I think, I've definitely had like a year of like trying to write, and then just, you can't get through a song if you're trying to think too much about writing it, because then it won't come out and you'll rewrite the lyrics 8 times and then you're like, this is not something I would naturally make now.
Yeah, overthinking, over critiquing, and not I do think there's like a stream of consciousness with writing that you have to hold on to, because I think all your early stuff and likely anything that got you here was likely something that you didn't think too hard about while you were making it, because there was no pressure for it to be anything. So you didn't have to think. I mean, you're just going, I hope people like this. But a bunch of songs you probably wrote and loved at the time that you've probably forgotten about. I don't know. Who's to say that one of those won't reemerge or something? You can never judge the result in real time. You kind of got to let things live for years before you can kind of go, what did that mean? And I think that you'll always be happier looking back on music that you made honestly versus something you tried to construct to get a result.
100%.
Those are the songs that I probably feel the least attached to, because we have some of them,
Yeah, because then you recognize later on, you can point out yourself being like, I was just trying to
write a hit.
Yeah. You really have to fight that, especially if you're in co-writing sessions to test it out. You really have to fight the urge of I just need to do something natural and not, some of the stuff that I've recorded over the years is almost hilarious to listen to.
Yeah, it's
now.
like high school pictures.
Yeah, 100. For you, I can imagine people would be like, I remember exactly where I was when this song came out and how it affected me and what I was going through and how it helped me. That really helps you remember why you were doing it in the first place.
Yeah, and you kind of remember the power of music is really we're just all participating in people's memories. And if we were lucky enough that our song was playing at the time that person had that experience, our song becomes the soundtrack to some really great memory. Because music is, if you look at music as one of the most important resources on the planet, and if you think about things we can't quantify, we can't even think about the magnitude of the importance of a song.
Yeah.
And then leaving that and going into a room and writing a song that's going to do that. You're at the beginning of, in my opinion, of a long career where you're going to have to do that a bunch of times. And if you can't take that in the room with you every time, you have to just go in the room and make something you like.
Yeah, let it naturally form.
Yeah.
Rather than being it's heavy when you start being I have to write a song that's going to be
people's lives.
That's why pitch songs are so crazy to me, that you could walk into a room and be like, right, we're going to write the bar mitzvah song of the century, where it's going to be played at every single, like Fireball by Pitbull,
Yeah, but
them going and being we're going to cultivate this song for a moment, and sometimes it works.
It works, but that's the thing is, to me though, if it's genuine and you're I have this idea, I want to write this kind of song for this, I can just see it, and it's a wedding song. Everybody's gonna, and that's really your dream, and you do it, and it works. We never know if something's going to translate and stick. But that's being an artist. You have to try and have vision with what you're doing, and everyone's vision's different. And then sometimes in pop, there's guys like Max Martin and songwriters who have consistently been able to execute their vision with groups of people for artists. That's why they are them, though. That's why there's not thousands of them.
Yeah,
there's also only dozens.
The biggest thing is that you've just got to you've got to like the song. You've got to like that you're the one singing it, you're the one representing it, and you're the one that has to play it every single night.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't love the song, there's no point, in my opinion. You could write like the best song, the number one hit song for the next 5 years, but if you hate it, that's worse than just not putting it out or giving it to someone else.
Yeah, I think you'll be happier with a song failing that you loved and you really meant it than being talked into recording a song by someone and you go for it and it fails and I think that's way more heartbreaking and disappointing, and you'll end up questioning like, who am I?
Yeah, I 100% agree.
Being talked into something that you really don't want to do versus doing something you believe in and it not maybe succeeding on the level that the world would deem a success. But it could feel like a success to you, and likely will if it's something that you really believe in and you're just like, I have to put this song out. I don't know if it'll do well, or I don't care if it'll do well.
Yeah.
I think for an artist anyways, because there's a difference between an artist as a songwriter, record maker, and a performer who could also be an artist, because that's an art form, but maybe they're not a songwriter and they don't care as much.
Yeah.
They're like, I just want to sing songs that I think are catchy and I like and perform.
Yeah, they're equally as respected, but just very different things.
Performance art kind of thing.
Yeah.
And really great performers are great. They're great artists. I mean, you could look at like legacy performing artists. I mean, you could say Beyonce's a performing artist. She definitely writes, but she's also cutting songs that other people wrote.
Yeah.
And I think, but when you go and see her live, you're like, oh, wow, that is a fucking performer.
Yeah.
They're great.
Yeah.
And that's a whole other art form.
Yeah. Yeah. It's completely different.
Yeah.
Two different worlds you sort of have to
What do you
conquer.
think you're more of? Writer artist or performing artist, or both?
I don't know. I always thought like writing would be my one true love, and nothing could beat that. And then when I started performing, I was like, damn, this is pretty good. I could do this for a while and then not go back to writing for a bit. And it's good. You get best of both worlds. Like, you write to the point where you need a break, so you tour to the point where you need a break, and then you write to the point where you need a break, and it just continues like that forever.
That sounds right.
Yeah.
That sounds exactly right.
Yeah.
That's cool. I never thought of it that way.
No, it's great. I love it. I love both of them. It just depends on where I'm at and if I feel like I really have something that I want to say, or I feel the energy of like, yeah, I got to write today, because sometimes it is hard when you're in the writing section and you're like, I don't got a lot right now
to say,
and I don't want to force it, because all I'm gonna do is prolong the not having anything to say, because I just keep making songs that I feel don't really mean anything.
That's pretty mature.
Yeah, it's hard.
That's mature though. I mean, a lot of younger artists just are so amped to try and make it that they just will force anything, because they just want to force a circle into a square and make it in their time versus in, the life's time or the universe's time, or whatever that time is. Also, there is a thing, I think, to like, we think it's time, but it's not. We're trying to force something that's supposed to grow. It's like forcing an apple tree to have apples before it's ready to have apples.
Someone said something really interesting to me the other day, where they were like, if it's meant for you, it's not going to pass you.
Yeah.
So it's like, I was like, I got time. It'll happen. The songs that I want, or I think that I want, I'll either realize that I don't, or they'll come.
Yeah. What was your family life like?
Pretty chill.
Your mom and dad, are they together?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, they're together.
That's nice.
Yeah. Good for you.
Yeah. That's rare.
Yeah. Actually, yeah,
it is rare.
Kind of is.
Do you have brothers and sisters?
Yeah, I have a younger sister, like 6 years different. So
cool.
Not a lot of hanging out until kind of recently.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I feel like I was a pretty quiet kid. I was pretty separate from my parents. Very much just like, wouldn't come home. wouldn't sort of talk to them much, would kind of disappear for a bit. And
Why?
I don't know, because I look back and I'm very much like, I think that I had a thing in my brain that I had a really bad relationship with my mom. But then as I grew up, I was like, I think it's me that's creating the drift. Because, yeah.
Likely it was probably like just normal adolescent. I'm breaking away from my family in the sense that like I'm the same as them. Because I think there's like, I mean, I'm seeing it with my kids, like they're teenagers, and I notice it. I'm just like I'm not trying to control it.
Yeah,
I
don't
just
fight
like,
back. It makes it worse.
And I never got to have the experience of like being close to my parents. So I didn't have any other model for like when you turn 13, 14, you start to break away and you start to establish your own like opinions of the world, your own identity in the world. And I think that's natural. I think, right?
Yeah.
And then if you're close though, I think I mean, I know I have the urge to be like, no, like stay close. Like, but I think there's like this, like, no, okay, like make your own decisions and we'll be here to support whatever the decision is. It's just weird though, I think, but I do think that you're not so old now that you wouldn't remember those ages really well. Like you're still closer to those ages.
I just remember being a really angry kid. Like I was
I think that's normal.
So angry and sad and like for years. Like,
but do you think that's part of like maybe you're super creative?
Yeah, probably. I think I was just angry at trying to understand everything.
Right.
And I do think it fuels a lot. You know, I think I've only recently stopped being so angry.
I think also creative people, we just feel really deeply.
Yeah.
Like it's almost dramatic how deep we feel.
It's melodramatic. And you feel really like as overused as it is, like you do feel really misunderstood by a lot of people.
Yeah.
And then it fuels the anger because you're like, am I crazy? Like
Yeah.
So many music opinions as well where I'll just talk to someone and just like no one will get it. And I'm like, okay, I'm on my own here. Yeah.
I think it's the creative brain. I think we have it's I always say like I'm pretty dramatic inside. I feel really, really deep. If I get angry, I get really angry. If I get sad, I get really sad. It's probably like, I think probably on the like spectrum of like all the stuff like bipolar, all that, all the mental health stuff that they've been able to kind of name now. Like I think we all exist on the spectrum of those somehow.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Whatever our version of it is.
I don't think anyone's like not anxious or like not depressed at all, unless you're, a psychopath. But I don't think, anxiety became a really big thing.
Psychopaths are a real thing, though.
Oh, that's a little more about here, I will say.
There are real sociopathic, psychopathic people.
Oh, yeah.
Also, I think that gets like mislabeled. Like I do think sometimes people are just like narcissistic, psychopathic.
There's so much more of them that get, I don't know. You can like see one from a mile away, but I think when you have a lot of experience with them and the amount of, I don't know, just the amount of like really famous people that you're like, how can no one else?
You're a psycho.
Can no one see this?
I think anyone that can hurt anyone is a psycho.
Yeah.
And on any level, like I really do. I think anyone that can knowingly hurt someone, it's one thing to do an action and it hurts someone and then you know that it hurt them and you go, I'm sorry. I did not mean to do that. Right. That's one thing. That to me, that's like the healthy response to making a mistake is like, whoa, I'm really sorry.
Yeah.
The psychotic response is to do it again and again and again. And like, that's where I see people where I'm like, why are we not just calling this psychotic?
Yeah.
Cause I just, but maybe it's an artist thing. Cause I can't live with feeling like I hurt anyone.
No,
I don't want to hurt anyone.
That's where the dramatic comes out. Where
It's
I'm like,
very
oh my
dramatic.
God, I don't deserve to be here. Like,
I'm a terrible person.
Yeah, and you don't let it go for a bit.
Well, you get older and you kind of learn how to make repairs, and you can get there quick. You can go, hey, I'm really sorry. I didn't mean to hurt you. As soon as you become aware of it, you can do that. But it took me years to learn how to do that. I didn't even know how to deal with like disappointing people or hurting them or whatever. But I do think that like, God, yeah, there's definitely psychos out there. But I think that artists, I think we just feel, I think we're wired all similar. So I think your experience is probably not too different from mine. Your version of it, right? Obviously is going to have its own details and its own, and it could be, you could argue it's better or worse, whatever. But like it's similar probably, like our brain's wiring is probably the same. And I think that like there's a deep need to be there's a deep feeling of no one understands me and I'm different. And then there's probably things about us that are different. And then I think that like the artistic way we see the world creates a lot of a deeper, higher highs and lower lows.
Yeah.
Likely we can feel the levels of joy that maybe some people can never feel that level of joy.
Yeah.
But then also we could feel the depths of despair deeper than maybe. But I think we're lucky because we actually probably understand that a little.
Yeah.
Versus someone who's artistic, but it got suppressed and they never got to make art. And they're somewhere in the world working a job maybe they don't like. They're in a life that is maybe fine. I think art is the biggest outlet and therapy. And I think there's probably a whole cross section of people in the world that never got to exercise their artistic streak in them. And they're probably that's probably what creates some psychotic, suppressed down. Craziness. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know.
Angry.
But your parents feels like you guys are cool and they support you.
We're good now. Okay. Yeah. I don't think my mom will never understand the music industry. She'll never understand she'll never understand what I do. You know, when I told her, I was like, oh yeah, I'm doing the Coachella thing. And she was like, is that like,
what's that?
Big for you? Like, what does that mean? It's not your show. So I'm like, yeah, you'll never get it. It's okay. It's
what
humbling
does she do?
though. It's great. She's a makeup artist. So she works with artists all the time.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. She's a hair and makeup artist. She's been doing it for like 30 years.
So she's artistic.
Yeah. She did the whole thing. She worked for Vogue, did the everything.
Wow. That's a cool job.
Yeah. She's cool. But I never in a million years would guess that she would be a makeup artist. If I didn't know what she did as a kid, I would be like, you're an accountant. Like,
right.
It's very different kind of creative. But yeah, she's very creative.
It's application.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting. She's an enigma, that woman. I don't know if I'll ever fully
and
grasp.
Likely a lot of the enigmatic things about you are somehow connected to the enigmatic things about her.
Yeah, probably. It's a lot more reflection than one might like when you start realizing you're becoming exactly like your parents.
It's terrible.
It's terrifying.
I had such a conflicted relationship with my dad, and the older I get, the more I realize there's a lot of great things about him that I have.
Yeah.
Just apple doesn't fall far from the tree in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
You know, there's things you go like, wow, I even sometimes it's physical, like a look or a thing, and then a lot of it you're like, whoa, that's definitely like similar.
Yeah.
Freaky.
Yeah, it is weird.
But you also kind of come to appreciate it as you get older, where you're like, there are aspects of someone that I can be conflicted about. There's also aspects that I can also love, cherish, enjoy, care for. And I can separate things out. The older you get, the easier it is, I think, to do. You get further away from the accidental damage that they, I think, did.
Yeah. Well, I think resentment just needs time.
Yeah.
And then also, I think the older you get, the more you just forget how intensely that felt, you know?
Yeah.
And, you know, you realize that it was their first time parenting and it was, you know, and then you get to the point where you're like the age that they were when they had you and you're like, Jesus Christ, I would not be ready for a kid.
How'd you do it?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Crazy. How old was your mom when she had you?
Oh, she was older. She was like probably in her 30s.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a good age.
Yeah.
And what about your dad?
Probably similar. Probably just a bit older. Yeah, they're probably just more stable, more ready for it rather than like super young.
I couldn't imagine 20-somethings having kids.
No.
It just blows my mind still.
No,
It's like,
I can't take care of myself.
I had my kids when I was 29 and I wasn't ready.
Yeah.
And I probably spent the first 5 years just stabilizing and figuring it out.
Yeah.
And like, you know what I mean?
Damage control almost.
I always tell my kids I feel lucky because they're so easy.
Yeah.
They made it easy. They were so easy. Understand why these two are so easy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like good kids, and they're so easy. So I always say you guys made it easy. But God, I couldn't imagine if I was like 22 or 3.
Mm-mm.
Forget about it.
Because you don't even know who you are yet. How do you you almost don't have the time to figure that out then.
What was the hardest thing about, and maybe it wasn't hard. You said there's always an aspect that's hard. I don't care what anyone says, but you started 13, trying to write songs, 14, 15. So it feels like you had space though, because you weren't really allowed to run out the gate until you were 18, which I think is really, really, whoever helped make that decision, you'll thank them for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
It can go really wrong if you're young and you have success at the wrong time. It can be a disaster. But what do you think the hardest part from whatever age you would say you started to when you went out the gate into the world and started working, that 4 or 5 years?
In the writing sort of?
Just in general. Was it something you knew you wanted to do right away?
Yeah, I mean, I can never pinpoint when I started writing because I just keep finding stuff from when I was younger and younger. Like I've always been a writer, not necessarily like writing on, just like physically writing. Like
writing poems and stuff.
Yeah, stuff
lyrics,
like that.
Stuff like that.
Yeah, that was, from when I was like 4 or 5, like always writing. And then, yeah, I probably would have been like 12 when I picked up a guitar and I was like, maybe this is it.
So your parents encouraged creative.
Yeah, my dad played guitar.
Okay.
My mom was like, I didn't think you could sing. Like,
Yeah.
My dad was like, no, she can sing. Like,
She's
she's got a
it.
voice.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they were very much like, were never like, I don't think they ever thought that I'd ever really do anything.
Right, but they kept the tools around.
Yeah, and they let me go to singing lessons. They, did the whole thing, I guess.
There's something to that.
Yeah. No, I'm really appreciative of them.
But like,
that.
even if they say one thing, I think sometimes as parents, we're trying to protect the kids from the disappointment if they get too
100%.
But there's a hope in you that they actually can do it.
Yeah.
I think there's something like that.
Definitely. I think
parents.
I went for a long period of time being like, oh my God, I will literally never impress my mother. And then I went through another period of being like super resentful of that and being like, nothing I do will, get there. And then, I don't know, I think it was like only recently I started being like, I'm really appreciative for the way that she raised me like that, because I will now never do anything for trying to get someone else to be impressed.
Right.
Which I feel like it can go one way or the other.
Yeah.
But I'm like, if I don't like something, I'm not going to just sort of like show it to a bunch of people and be like, but what do you think? It's like, it's all for yourself. She like kind of unintentionally taught me it doesn't matter if someone else is impressed with you.
Yeah.
Because everyone can tell you like, it doesn't matter if someone else is like not impressed with you. But there's also something bad about, not bad, but, it has its own side to it if you're just like doing things to try and get approval from other people.
Or to build on the last approval, because I think it's something like, this too shall pass. I think it's something like that on both sides.
Exactly.
So it's like a big loss, this will pass. We'll live to play another day, right? A big win, this will pass. We'll live to play another day.
I think I have adopted that mentality a lot more. Sometimes, too much, where I'll be like, don't get too excited kind of thing.
Yeah.
But It's good because you don't fall so hard when you have a big positive.
There's definitely a post-win crash.
Oh, yeah.
One thing I've kind of like noticed, there are different kinds of artists, right? Finding the balance of being able to win like well, to be a good winner. And then it's something like, thanks, we tried our best. All right, we'll see you tomorrow. Get back at it, you know? And the same with a loss. Thanks, it's too bad we didn't win, but we tried our best and it was a good game. We'll see you tomorrow. You know, it's kind of something like that. I've seen some people after a big win, almost like it's an anxiety thing or something. They start chopping heads off.
Yeah.
They start spitting. You know, it's a bad winner. It's like, not only did I win, I'm going to make you all feel bad about it or angry about it or something about it that isn't just like, hey, that's cool. Like, there's nothing better than seeing someone win and like being able to participate in the joy of like celebrating them and not feeling bad. Like, I don't know. It's weird because if there can only be one winner in this situation or that situation, or someone won an award, but all these other people didn't, but somehow to help everyone come along and win with you, I think is the healthier version of that. And I think it's like all of our sports heroes and music heroes, they do that. I think they somehow make us all feel good about it.
Yeah.
And then sometimes you see people that I think don't, and I don't think it's like an evil plot. I think it's like some kind of confliction they have with.
Yeah. Or it could be, the way they were raised or like the situations, even like high school trauma, that shit stays with you.
Did you have high school trauma?
Not necessarily, because I moved so much. Like, I went from school to school to school.
Why'd you move?
Just, my parents just wanted to. They were just like, we're sick of it here. Let's go somewhere else. And, I think that was good because it was bad because I felt quite disconnected from people, but I had a lot of alone time and I liked being alone.
What ages was that when you were moving a lot?
Oh, from 7 to like maybe 16.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's probably something.
Yeah. Well, I think it really helped me. Nothing felt big in high school. Like nothing, the drama and like the intense, you're a teenager for the first time. You're experiencing these emotions for the first time. You're understanding lows and why you're feeling low. And then it feels like it's the biggest thing in the world. But I think that because I experienced like the same types of high school cliches in different places,
with new groups of people, you're always a new. That probably I think we adapt and we pick up like our weaknesses become our strength always. So a thing that is a threat, we either neutralize it or we turn it into strength, right? So moving around would at first be, I think, a very kind of like unstable, hard way to live until you turn it into a way you live and you're really good at it.
Well, I think it's why I can tour and I can move around because I just never really felt too tired anywhere.
Yeah.
But also, I'm like, I've met 7 versions of, this type of person in 7 different places. So if this person doesn't like me, it's like not the end of the world. Whereas
were you moving really far away from where, or was it like locally
like
kind of?
all within the same state, but like, a few hours each way. So there's not a lot of crossover of people.
Right.
But
and hard to kind of like I guess at that age, that's when you're like having your first relationships, you're establishing all that stuff. It's kind of hard to do that if you're moving all the time, right?
Yeah. I kept close with a few people from, and they're still my long-term friends, but they're all from different,
right.
And they've all like met each other now because we all fly to see each other. But
so you still have friends from your.
Yeah, I have like one friend from each area that have kind of stuck around, which is cool.
That's cool.
Yeah.
But also, I think there's something to like stability. There's good and bad.
I think that stability is my issue now, though. Because staying too much in the one place is like starting to,
Gets to you.
Yeah, because you're like, okay, it's too long here now.
I have the same thing. We moved around a lot in my from 9 till when I left home. 17, 9, 10 to 17. We were moving around all the time. We just like, and it was more of a financial thing. So we lose this house, couldn't. So it was constant, like all of a sudden we'd have to move in a span of like a month. Suddenly we have to move. And it made me really good at living out of a bag. So I can tour and travel, no problem. But I realized the anxiety that caused. I'm a good traveler, but I'm an anxious traveler.
Yeah, because you're like, where's the next place?
And I just kind of became anxious. And then I realized like, oh, I'm just anxious. And then also, God bless my wife, she's had to like just like slowly unpack it. But like staying in one place has always been tough. And now I'm good at it now at this age, but it took years to work through. Like, we don't need to move. This house is fine. We need to sell our house.
Yeah.
We don't need to move. Like, because you're basically just out of college, essentially.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't really go to uni.
Yeah, but like in life.
In life, yeah.
So like you graduate high school around 18 and then you go to college. Like you went to the college of life.
Yeah.
Of music,
the
right?
Music industry.
Releasing music, making songs. So now you've essentially, the way I see it, I'm like, oh, you got a degree.
Feels a bit like that.
It feels to me like you're right at that next point where you're about to really do your best work.
I feel that.
Even though your work is great, it feels like you really understand it all now.
Yeah, a lot of what I've put out, you know, it does feel like that was me figuring it out rather than being like, you know, I've never put out, I've only put out 2 sort of small projects, but I never put it out being like, this is me, this is done, this is what I represent. It's kind of more been like, this is, you know, me learning how to write, and this is me learning more about sound. And I think the next thing that I'm working on is more like, I want to take my time and I know what I've been missing and I know what I don't like, which is kind of more important than knowing what you do like. And yeah, sort of working on just like doing something that feels as authentic to me as possible for myself, not, you know, so I can walk around and be like, I'm fucking authentic, you know? Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm grateful for the figuring it out though, rather than having like someone come in and, you know, make it good for me.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Because then you'd have to just figure it out later.
Yeah, but I look at you and I don't see someone who would like maybe let that happen.
Yeah, I get that's where the really intense emotion comes into it. Because if I have a songwriter in a session with me, which I don't often like, because I don't believe that I'm at the point where I can collaborate efficiently because I'm still figuring it out. Yeah, it feels really intense.
If you feel trapped in a situation where you're like, whoa, no, I don't like this.
Yeah,
how do I say it? This isn't
the direction. Yeah, and I'm not at a point where I know how to articulate what I need and what I don't need from you.
Took me years.
It's so hard.
So hard.
And it's so emotional.
And to own it is a whole other thing.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't think I could ever just be like, well, I'll never use this song, guys, so we should come back tomorrow. Like, I'll stay there for another 6 hours, just internally convulsing on the couch, being like, I don't know what to do.
It's all ending right here. Yeah. It's all coming to an end. And then you kind of, as you get older, you realize like, no, it was a 6-hour experiment of figuring out what no feels like.
That's a cool way to view it.
You know what I mean?
Rather than being like, oh God, I don't know if I can keep doing this.
I do think though that like that's all it is.
Figuring out what a no feels
like.
What
no feels like, what yes feels like.
Yeah.
And if I can trust my internal navigator and just trust yes and no. Like I think life is as simple as yes and no. So it's complicated, but like we know what yes feels like if we think about it. If we ever think about that moment in our life that was a yes, like you got that record deal or whatever it means to you, the song, you heard it on the radio and you were like, yes, that's what yes feels like. And then what does no feel like? There's a bunch of versions of no we could probably say. Like that feels like no. That feels like no.
Yeah.
The needle's just bouncing off the, like if we can really get in tune with that, I think that it gets easier and easier and then learn how to articulate it, right? Like, hey guys, I really appreciate you. For whatever reason, it's not happening for me today. Sorry, I don't want to waste everyone's time. I don't know how you have that conversation, but sometimes you have to and sometimes you don't. You just sit there for 6 hours and you go.
I feel like it's they'll appreciate it more too. Because sometimes when you're in that, you're like, surely everybody in this room is feeling this as well too.
Also, it takes a lot of confidence on both sides. If someone comes to me and says, I don't want to work with you, I don't ever take it personal at this age.
I don't think I would either.
At my young age, though, I did. I felt a need or something.
I understand that people need different things. And like, I could have best friend in the world who's a great writer and writes on everything, but be like, I can't work with you.
Yeah.
But, either it's because we see the world differently or, sometimes I'm too close to people to be able to work with them because I'm like, I kind of don't want you to experience me in my state.
I want you to experience the best version of me, the one that I give you.
Yeah.
Because it is real.
I think people also view like songwriting sessions, like if they're not in them, it's like they picture that like Elton John, sitting at a piano with the, best friends kind of. And a lot of the time it is like kind of just staring at the floor, having an internal breakdown, not being able to vocalize anything, being like, I don't know if I can do this. Or, and there's the other side of it where you're all kind of just jamming and there's no thought. I don't know. There's so many different versions of it, of that experience.
And which version of you do you want certain people to experience? Like, it's a really weird thing because it's not that any one of them's not real. The version of me that I want certain people to experience is really me, and it's the best version of me. But I also know I can't bring that person over here because the version of me that's here, only like 5 people get that version because that's, I don't know, it's just, there is the you that's anxious, getting ready for something, that's talking, like for me, it's like my brother gets every version of me and I could be like, I don't know, dude, I just don't think I look, I got to go do this thing and I hate the way I look. Or I don't know, like something like that. I don't want everyone to have that version. You know what I mean? Because the better version of me is confident and I feel confident, but there's certainly a version of me that's not confident about something. And that's the only certain people I want to have that experience, and it's really personal. And in writing, that's a weird spot because it's like trying to pick your outfit or trying to pick, I don't know, like it's, everybody has their thing that they're not confident about. Some people it might be how they look, or some people it might be singing or whatever. Making art is a really vulnerable, weird space. Like, who can you share that with for real?
Yeah, especially if you like kind of have to be that version and you've just met this person.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh my God, I don't even know your last name and I'm crying on your couch. And this feels more uncomfortable than progressive. I don't know.
But then you meet creative partners that make you feel really comfortable.
Exactly. And that's when you know it's a yes.
Like, it's like love at first sight type thing. Like, you know, right away almost like, oh, this is a real one. Like, for me anyways. It's great. I feel like I didn't even really get to get into what you're doing and where you're going, but what is the thing you're the most excited about for the next year, the next phase, this next chapter?
Probably writing, I think. Yeah. Probably finding the process that feels the best for me and like just trying heaps of stuff. And yeah, I think I'm in a phase now where I just want to write for ages until it feels right. And not, sort of succumb to a timeline.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
I'm excited for you.
Yeah.
I hope you find that streak.
Thank you.
Where you when you hit that and you start just,
and then all the songs
crushing.
Come straight after. Yeah.
Yeah. I hope you find that. I know the spot. It's exciting when you're searching. And then you hit it and then you just start crushing songs.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah. I feel like I've had many versions of that, but, big project wise, just really making something that I'm proud of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you're super cool.
Thanks.
Your music's good. And I mean, you've done a lot for 22. You're in my opinion, like you're poised to hit that artistic spot. I think you're poised for that, like that next chapter. It's cool. Thanks for coming here.
Thanks for talking to me.
It's awesome. I hope you enjoyed today's episode of Artist Friendly. If you really liked it, you can follow, like, subscribe to the show anywhere you listen to podcasts, Spotify, Apple, Amazon. We appreciate your support, and we'll see you next time.
Bad times, I don't